From dominant fighting styles to exceptional trash talking, the UFC has a lot of hot prospects set to blow up this year. And it's always fun when there's young blood in the promotion. In this video, we're about to count down the most exciting fighters you have to keep an eye on in 2022. First, we have Tom Aspinall. Aspinall is an absolute monster when it comes to size and skill. The heavyweight jiu-jitsu black belt fighter is 6 feet 5 inches tall, packing brutal force in his striking. And even though he's only been whacking around fighters in the lower ranks of the division, he's starting to get a lot of attention now from fighters and fans. He's demonstrated tremendous grappling ability along with being extremely agile for a fighter of his size. In addition to his physical excellence, Aspinall is really smart and technical as a fighter. Aspinall knows his strengths and makes his opponents play into them. He really is a complete fighter if you ask us. And if that wasn't enough, Aspinall has also trained alongside the great Tyson Fury before switching lanes to the world of MMA. So what are we missing? He's a jiu-jitsu black belt, an exceptional grappler, and a skilled boxer too. Sounds like a really dominant fighter to us. What makes him even more special is the fact that he's displayed a lot of resilience since he first entered the promotion in 2020. Aspinall is undefeated so far, winning all 5 of his fights with a bonus performance in 3 of them. When you think about it, the heavyweight division already has a lot of scary fighters waiting to take over the #1 spot. And as Aspinall continues to move up the ranks, he's going to be taking on these guys, and that's when things will really get serious. So, while it's definitely not going to be easy for the explosive heavyweight fighter, it's certainly possible that the UFC might crown its first ever British heavyweight champion. Next, Khamzat Chimaev. Nobody wanted to face Khamzat last year, and we're guessing it's the same this year too. We just couldn't leave Khamzat's name off this list if we're talking about fighters to keep an eye on in 2022. But to be fair, you probably couldn't keep your eyes off him in 2021 as well. Khamzat has been in the news for some time now. He's one of the most dangerous fighters the UFC has ever seen. A lot of people argue that Khamzat is yet to face his match, but we beg to differ. Each time there are any questions surrounding the Chechen fighter, he answers every single one of them. There's just something different about Khamzat. He's on another level. It's like he's an animal. He trains like no one has trained before, and he's always ready for a fight. We're literally talking about a guy that refused to leave Fight Island after his first match just so he could find someone else to beat up. It's like Khamzat was built for combat. Even UFC legend DC thinks that Khamzat is the only guy in the league that could be a double champ. He didn't say Kamaru. He didn't say Adesanya. He said Khamzat. That means something, right? And that's exactly what Khamzat has been eyeing. He's called out the middleweight champion Israel Adesanya on multiple occasions. Obviously, he'll have to win in his own division first, but even Kamaru Usman tries his best to stay out of the fighter's path. Keep your eyes peeled because Khamzat is definitely going to be making serious moves in 2022. Now we have Mateusz Gamrot. A committed fighter is always a dangerous fighter, and Mateusz Gamrot is just that. The fighter has been quietly rebuilding his reputation in 2021 with 3 consecutive victories already. Normally when a fighter wins 3 in a row, there's a lot of hype surrounding him, but honestly speaking, we haven't heard too much about Gamrot. The heavy-handed Polish fighter is currently ranked at number 13 in the UFC lightweight division, but that doesn't take anything away from him. In fact, what makes him an exciting prospect for 2022 is his overall history as a fighter. Before finding his way to the UFC, he was a double weight champion in the KSW fighting promotion in Poland. So naturally, when Gamrot first fought in the UFC, he had a big reputation to defend. Unfortunately, he fell in his first fight. It wasn't exactly a bad performance, but we're guessing Gamrot wasn't used to the level of competition in the UFC. We really started noticing Gamrot when he stopped Carlos Diego Ferreira right in his tracks at the end of 2021. His fighting was just mind-blowing. He completely outclassed his competition in spectacular fashion. Gamrot has a really impressive record, winning 20 fights at the loss of just 1. Just look at Adesanya's record. He's 22-1 in his mixed martial arts career. So technically speaking, Gamrot is only 2 victories away from equaling Adesanya's record. He's definitely a rising star in the lightweight division, and we can expect to see a lot of him in 2022. Oh, not to mention that he's already called out Michael Chandler. And while that's gone a bit unheard, whoever faces Gamrot will be going up against a very skilled fighter. Up next, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now to be fair, Rakhmonov might not be in the headlines like his fellow fighters, but you definitely don't want to sleep on this guy. The 27-year-old Kazakh might just emerge as the best welterweight fighter in 2022. So just why is Rakhmonov Nurmagomedov on the list of fighters to watch in 2022? Well, the guy has fought 15 times, and guess what? He's won each time. When it comes to skill, Nurmagomedov is perhaps the most balanced fighter we've seen in 2021. He has everything needed to survive in the octagon. He knows how to box, he knows how to wrestle, and most importantly, he knows how to land a knockout strike as well. And that's not all. It's like every time Nurmagomedov steps into the octagon, he comes out as a better fighter. While most fighters come out looking like they've taken the beating of their life, Nurmagomedov makes it look like a walk in the park. He's already recorded wins against fighters like Mikel Prazeres and Alex Oliveira on his first 2 appearances in the UFC. In February this year, Nurmagomedov knocked out Carlston Harris to push his winning streak to 3 in a row. You better keep your eyes on this guy. He's up there with the likes of Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, and Mateusz Gamrot. Next, we have Islam Makhachev. Most of you probably are wondering why Islam is even on this list. Hasn't he already made his breakthrough in 2021? We get that. You already know he's a great fighter, but just hear us out for a sec. Islam made a name for himself at the very top of the division by putting away guys like Dan Hooker, Thiago Moises, and Drew Dober. So why exactly should we be keeping an eye out for Islam in 2022? Let's put it this way. 2021 was the year Islam made a spot for himself at the top of the table. 2022 will be the year he gets comfortable being at the top. Not to mention that Islam has also trained with one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time, Khabib Nurmagomedov. His fighting style is somewhat similar to the retired champion. However, what we're really interested in is his mental strength Islam has when he steps inside the octagon. No matter how hurt he is, no matter what the odds are, Islam never backs down from a fight. Now, Khabib gained his iconic status in a very short period of time, but a lot of it came from having an intense rivalry with the notorious Conor McGregor. So who will be Islam's McGregor? Because when you think about it, all Islam needs is one big fight to get that celebrity status like Khabib. Let's see, we might just get that fight in 2022. Lastly, Umar Nurmagomedov. Like Islam, Umar is another fighter that has been around Khabib. And let's get one thing straight, if Khabib believes in you, you're probably a good fighter. Even though Umar hasn't been around for long, we're already sure he's going to be a part of the next MMA dynasty. Umar, Khabib, and Islam all have a similar fighting style. They're all really good wrestlers, an already known fact, but when it comes to striking and kickboxing, Umar is definitely the better fighter. That might have been a little controversial, but we're not just making claims. Umar is only 26 years old, and he hasn't lost a single match in his MMA career. He's 14-0 in his career, and each time he fights, it's a work of art. He's still young and has a long way to go in the UFC, but a lot of it depends on what kind of fights he's going to get. If the UFC gives him the right shots, he might just grab the Bantamweight Championship by the end of this year. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Who's the hottest prospect on this list? Did we miss a fighter that might make big moves in 2022? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.